and welcome to the Artificers Guild, a home for anyone interested in Valve's upcoming TCG, Artifact. I am Divok, and today we have a list of over 100 potential cards to discuss. An article was posted on .esport yesterday regarding 100 art assets that were listed by Valve on the US copyright database. This is a regular occurrence during the lead up to a game's release. However, many publishers copyright their material under a different name to avoid releasing information to the public, as we have here. All of the entries we're about to discuss were posted earlier on this year, long before we had our first video of the game back in March. Some of the artists that have contributed to this list include well-known illustrators from Magic the Gathering, so while we might argue that this artwork could just be for Dota 2, it would seem that Valve have specifically added artwork from card illustrators. This list has thrown the community into a debate as they discuss the potential cards that will surround these pieces of art. What will Agnum Sanctum do? What new heroes from Dota 2 can we see in this list? And what's going on with Meebo? We're about to take a look at some of the more exciting cards and discuss them in the context of the cards we already know about. Within this list of over 100 assets, there are 18, potentially 19 heroes listed. 4 of these 19 are heroes that do not exist in the Dota world. This makes the discovery not only huge for fans of Artifact, but also for fans of Dota 2 itself. Fricks and Kana have already had their artwork displayed, and while a card for Kana has never been confirmed, this is the final nail in that particular coffin. With links to both Phantom Lancer and Juggernaut in Dota 2, we can expect Kana to have a very interesting card. Fricks is not the only card that has already been confirmed that we see on this list. The inclusion of Legion Commander, Zeus, and Sven further confirm our suspicion that this is indeed a list of card art for Artifact, as we saw all of these cards in the screenshots or videos that came from the playtests in March. So we turn to new heroes. Some have been hinted at previously, but we haven't had any real confirmation for any of them. It goes without saying that we need to discuss Meebo, and the list of artwork assets, we see 4 Meepos appear. These are Meepo number 1, 2, 3, and 4. This, at the very least, suggests that there are 4 card arts for Meepo, but we know that you only get 5 heroes in your deck, and every hero we've seen so far has just the 1 card. In the March playtests, we heard that each hero gets a set number of unique spells that come with them, usually relating to the hero's skills in Dota 2. Meepo's ultimate ability, Divided We Stand, is a spell card in the asset list too. Will the spell simply spawn another Meepo? If we're allowed 3 of each of these unique cards, this would add up with the original Meepo and 3 spell created ones. This, however, doesn't explain how the Divided We Stand spell would interact when used with any other hero. This is perhaps the biggest mystery to come out of the artwork asset list, and we'd like to open the discussion up to you guys. How do you think the 4 Meepos will work? Will they scale the same way Meepo does in Dota 2? Will they be able to jump from one lane to another using the ability spell Poof? Let us know in the comments below what you want to see Meepo do in Artifact. Abaddon is another interesting addition to the list, as it provides confirmation of a hero that we almost knew was coming. Aphotic Shield is a green spell card that we have seen from the March playtest screenshots. If the testers are correct, and that each hero gets 3 unique spells that relate to their abilities in Dota 2, then that would mean Abaddon is a green hero in Artifact. This likely confirms one more thing. In the playtest video released by GameSpot, we hear the developers talking about how each deck colour has a particular mindset. Red has big numbers, but little flashy effects. Black is about killing with finesse. Blue are your casters and mages, while green is a slow, ramping up playstyle that hits hard in the late game. Now Abaddon is typically a support in Dota 2, though while he can certainly scale in the late game, it's his ability to keep his team alive in the early game that he's picked for. If we can expect cards to take the same flavour as their Dota 2 counterparts in Artifact, that would mean that Abaddon might bring some much needed early game pressure and support to the otherwise late game and damage oriented green decks. If this wild speculation is correct, it is huge in my opinion. Colours alone cannot define the playstyle, that would be far too static for the game. Heroes should, and might, take the mantle of playstyle definers. I want to cover the other potential new heroes for Dota before I quickly go over the other heroes and then onto spells and items. Mazi is another asset that's listed, and many of us have already seen some artwork called Mazi. Drew Wolf, an artist that has previously worked with Valve, uploaded many pieces of unused artwork to his website, which you can find a link for in the description below. In the album called Untitled Fantasy Game, Characters, the second piece includes a number of hero designs. In the top right of this piece, we see Mazi. At first inspection, Mazi looks like a lumbering giant in armour. However, I personally think she looks most like Timbersaw. This would make Mazi one of the Keen folk. Along with Timbersaw, Tinker, Sniper and others, the Keen folk are a small dwarf-like race that focus on intellect, hence the name Keen. Mazi, however, appears to be a bit more physical than the rest. Using a giant cleaver as her choice weapon, we might expect her to be a bit of an outcast, much like Sniper. This is of course wild speculation, but I'd love to see a cleaver-wielding melee tyrant that's actually just a small little keen in a suit. But this also begs the question, are we going to see the rest of the characters on this sheet? Well, possibly. The final, potentially new hero is why I stated there were 18 or 19 heroes. Prelex is listed as an asset. These assets are listed so that any spell's name is suffixed with the word spell itself. This means that Prelex could be an item, or Prelex could be a hero. Your guess is as good as mine when it comes to figuring out who Prelex might be. Even I won't dive into speculation that intense, but it is certainly food for thought during this dry spell of news. The other heroes mentioned in this list are Bloodseeker, Centaur Warrunner, Chen, Darkseer, Lion, Ogre Magi, Outward Devourer, Pugner, Skywrath Mage, Tidehunter, and Treant Protector. There are a few interesting spells, items, and creeps to think about too. Of course, we have some of the hero's unique spells. Chen's ultimate, Hand of God, and Tidehunter's passive Kraken Shout are but two examples. However, there are some spells that share the name with Dota 2 abilities, but they are for heroes that have not yet been revealed. Lich's ultimate, Chain Frost, and Magnus's buff ability and power both feature in the list of spells, but neither Lich nor Magnus have been revealed through screenshots, official releases, nor featured on this asset list. So there are another 2 heroes we can add to the list of likely cards to be released at the game's launch. One item also suggests the inclusion of a hero, although this one's a bit of a stretch. The item, Niktasha's Guard, could hint at Bane coming in at the release of the game. The hero Bane was born from the night terrors faced by the goddess Niktasha. Her guard could be an item to prevent Nightmare, or it could reference Bane stealing some of her own immortal life to bring himself into existence. Either way, we hope to see Bane in the initial roster for Artifact's release. Another item to bring to attention is Shiva's Guard. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we've seen an item from Dota 2, built from many components, likely confirmed in Artifact. We already had Blink Dagger and many of the smaller component items such as Broadsword, but the inclusion of Shiva's Guard might suggest that we'll be seeing the other full items from Dota 2. These should be much more expensive, but I hope they have as much impact, if not more, than their late game companions in Dota 2 today. There are so many things that we could talk about from this list, but as it is all conjecture, we've tried to keep it within the realms of things that should be, and not just those that could be. However, we encourage you all to discuss at length what you think each of these cards could be. We can't wait for more information on these cards and more, and we know many of you can't either. So let's beat Valve to the punch and uncover the secrets of Artifact ourselves. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Artificer_Guild to get all of the latest news and updates surrounding the channel and Artifact itself. Also, you can like and subscribe, as it will really help our channel grow into the community we're looking to build here. I have been Divok of the Artificers Guild, and we will see you next time.